G'day everybody. I want to talk about what is the history of religions. We have lots of stories of religion history, and when they got it right, they built really big places, had a lot of followers. Always usually told followers that they need to be followers as they won't have a life or they won't get a life or their problem in their life is because they're not a follower. They haven't got things right. That's religion. That's pretty much every manipulation way out there or way to teach is. Law is a religion. Law is meant to be mixed in with religion. You have freedom. Freedom to pick your laws, you see, collectively. So whatever laws you got, they're meant to be picked collectively. If they're not picked collectively, that means that you've given over power. And you're not meant to give over power. So if you've given over power, then you've failed and you need to get your freedom back for real. The freedom that you choose and that you're willing to accept for the knowledge and the way you are. That's why we have knowledge in all different areas. All different countries are different as well, not because of the materials and the way they can live there and the benefits. It's because of the education. Collectively, you see. That's why we talk about education a lot. We need to change it. As we're not happy, and to upgrade, you need to change education every now and then. To upgrade, without upgrading of education, there is no real upgrade, only separate upgrades. Right? And the education is for the collective. When it comes to schools, the public at least got to do the basic education, and a little extra, and then you've got private that's meant to do the basic education and more extra and more easier and more things available as you are paying for it. Private, right? Same when it comes to religion. We have all different benefits we can get from different religions. Right? They ask for donations constantly so they can help you. It's a little bit like the government with taxes and how much they want to tax you and stuff. Some religions take percentage of your pay, which is like a tax, 10%, 5%, and all that kind of thing. A similar thing to help them finance their ways of seeing and doing things. But over time, or definitely now, it's been up and down when it comes to religion and laws, as we see, right? And now we've hit a spot where the world's more educated than it's ever been. We're getting more educated. And it has been. It's been up and down with wars. We've heard of stories of great places and great cities that got destroyed because of ego and anger and not getting along. Maybe they had all the education and they held it back. Key things like food and shelter and stuff. And that could have been the despised. Or it could have been just holding back a really cool knowledge to take over others. And so people who like to dominate and control wanted that knowledge. And so they come in and take it as they can, as that's the human instinct of all of us, the barbaric animal start that we've all had of survival. Right? But we can learn to survive by connecting. But people rather dominate. It feels better for them, as we all are self-creatures, you see. So it all depends on how much we're willing to sacrifice and blend and all that kind of stuff and feel and all that on how we get along collectively. So when it comes to religion, it has a history, just like humans have a history. We can always look back on history to learn. If we're getting a bit lost, we need to think back, stop, slow down, as they say. As we're forgetting old things. If you don't do it, you will forget it. Right? If you're a person who keeps learning and there's new things. So you'll start losing old things because you keep remembering new ways, right? Which your law changes a lot. I can't even keep up with law sometimes because it's been a few years. You've got to watch yourself that it's still there, right? In the last 20 years. It changes a lot, like welfare systems as well, up and down, constant changes to try to make something better in their way of seeing, in their image, right? But we have the Bible that talks about a certain person, alien, whatever you want to call it, and the way they thought to help us. We have stories of things talking to help us, and we listen, and then we end up having stories of something coming to take and dominate that. Right? That's yin and yang, isn't it? And it's a constant battle and fight to try to get it right. But where's the history, and how much history have we had of human history where we've got it right, where we've gotten along? Right? We didn't do anything unless we really had to for our own real survival. There's too many people on this planet. If you got to that point, well, you'd have to start culting. If you started running out of air and resources, well, you can't keep having people. You either stop or you have to start culting, which is wars. Have to make people die, even create things where they crash and shit, right? Because that's the only way to keep the balance until we can travel in space and find other spaces, other homes to spread in. It's like a family. At the moment, this is our home, and we're still trying to figure ourselves out so we can do such things. So back to religion again. Religion has been battling for a long time. They talk about that we're here to connect and get the right ways, but yet we're hypocrites within each other and fight amongst each other because we can't prove to each other that we can actually get along all the time. There's always this, if you look back, a dominant, one that always goes, I'm better. Why are you better? Some of them might say, I'm better because we're bigger. So what are you? We don't even want to listen. That kind of attitude is not holy. If that was holy, then Jesus would have never done what he done, you see. We always look at one of the biggest, which is Christian, right? And Jesus' story, but yet no one really follows it for real. No one stands up to the law when it changes for real. These places are meant to be the people who first meant to stand up for it, as far as I'm concerned. They're here for their own, they believe in their way. It's their law, and yet they're not doing it. And all laws are doing that. They all use loopholes and break it. Some laws are meant to be broken if they're wrong. But if they're not wrong, they shouldn't be broken. And we've got plenty of laws out there that weren't wrong, that aren't even getting enforced, and we're broken. Like when it comes to using science and proper debates when it comes to people's welfare and being in court, right? It's not about just your opinion, and it's not about how much time. Time doesn't matter. It's about getting the answers, the right answers, not about how much time it takes to get it, you see. That's why I talk about time in court areas that are important. I laugh at it. They actually have a time limit. They want to go home, but they work for the people. They're meant to get this done. That time limit is making it fail because they don't have enough time. And so they're going to move on. We couldn't get that done. We're going to move on. We've got this other thing there. Now another thing's happened. Now we're going to do that. And that's because we didn't want to do an all-dayer. We had to get it finished in 8 hours. You know what I mean, people? Should have took as long as it takes. If it's taken too long, it's because you're arguing too much, you see? And that means it needs to take longer. You need to sort out this argument, sort out what's going on. Maybe over time of sitting there all night, you might go, shit, what are we arguing for, you see? If you go up your brakes all the time, you're going to come back and do the same thing. And what do I see in religion today? Well, I see where religion is mostly, and religion is meant to be showing us the way and the right way and spiritual and all this thing, and telling us about where we go in the afterlife and the actions we do. Where all the spiritual countries are. What's all around Israel? Why have they battled constantly? It means spiritual means hell. I've actually been talking about that since I went full spiritual. My life has been hell. Everyone attacks you. No one wants to be full spiritual. No one really wants to share unless they get more and more benefit. But as we share together, we get the benefit together. You've got to do it right, or it just doesn't work. And it's not working. And we're only getting benefits here and there and here and there, and this group and there, and they say this way and there. That's what we see. And constant battle through history of that. Ups and downs. And at the moment, we're in a bad one now. People don't go to religion because they're hypocrites. That's what I said. Their own little group. And I've got my own little group. We're an atheist. We believe in just work hard and get the money. You got the money, there you go, you got God. That's what I call atheists, really. They call money God. As long as you've got money, you must have God. That's how they see it, and their life's doing well. God doesn't step into anything. He gives you your free will. He tells you afterwards. He wants to know what you're all going to do together. He's telling you all the wisdom like a parent does. Your parents should know this. You tell your kid everything. You know that they know things, and they go out in the real world and they fuck up. And you go, why'd you do that? Well, I taught you better. You know what I'm saying? I taught you better. That's what God's saying to all yous right now. The being that sent Jesus. Saying, I thought I taught you. How much? Up so far, I see what yous all do. I see the only way to wake yous up, come down and slap him in the face. And I've done that a few times. And then you just forget about it. You just won't pass on. You just change over time. So now you're going to come down and get another slap in the face. Shocking, isn't it? And yet we're so smart. Huh? We're smart in certain ways, but we use our education in the wrong ways. All we're thinking about is technology, but we're not thinking about the food and this and that. And we're thinking about prices going up, and this is all ridiculous, and because it's cool, right? And brand names, that's a human made up shit. It's not fair and right, really, right? Can't have things a little bit more different, but how ridiculous it goes, hey, because of those things. Right? It's not fair. And materials are getting changed, things are getting made dodgy, all for profit rates, not made right. You see? And so right now, religion showing the world how much they fight, how much they can't get along, how much they rather bomb each other and kill civilians and show that they're just as bad as anything. And then they whinge at God and go, oh, you seen innocent people die? Well, look what you're doing. You lost a couple of thousand, you rather kill 10 times, 20 times amount of innocent people of the people you lost or you were fighting for, and the bad guys too. Less of them. More likely you kill more civilians when it comes to wars than the bad guys. Don't we see that? And who suffers and he commits suicide and causes all sorts of problems to the civilians' wars. These people think they've got to say right. They fight for you. That's what they say. After they brainwash you with all the words and ways of their belief. It's not even right. Well, if they got it right, it shouldn't even be war unless there's a good excuse. So far, war is what you have to. Your country never got rain. Your country never got proper sunlight, never got anything to grow. You did all your best. You worked every day, every night, and you failed. That can happen. God will do that test. And so you want to leave that country, and all the other countries around you go, no, I'm sorry, oh, you suck, no, oh, we want this, no, what can you give us, what can you give us? And so a war happened, they can't just leave their country, look at Gaza, huh? And so they're going to war out. They go, well, they're not going to just accept us, so we're going to have to now arm up, get angry and fierce and fight for our lives and come flying out of it. Take your ass over, either die, we're not going to sit here and die, or get somewhere or take you over and there we go. Then it'll be our ways now. You see, that's what we see in history. Instead of people getting along. Huh? Instead of going, oh, we can see you got a hard time, or you can come over here for a little while. Once that gets better, we can fix that. And perhaps because you're over here, we can share resources over there and might find something else. You've got plenty of rocks over there, right? We can use that. It allows you to have over here. Things like that, but they don't do that. It's always, what can I get more? It's like that deal show where they upgrade everything, and he starts with a mobile phone and goes makes deals. He gets swaps his mobile phone for something else, but he sweet talks you. Why you need that mobile phone, but you better give me something better. That's better, but I'm going to sweet talk you. Why you need this mobile phone that's not better, but you need it. Huh? Then I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to upgrade that, and then all of a sudden I'll turn a phone into a boat. That's what these shows show us, fake or real. Shows you the concept of what can be possible, if it's fake or not. There's a lot of them are like those repo shows, you know how they go. They're made up for entertainment. But they also show you what can be possible, right? Because of the things we do and the ways we do it. So I hope religion get their shit together for real, that one big enough group, you do need big enough groups, bigger the better, it is true, but it all depends on the education. You can have 100,000 army and 10,000, and those 100,000 got sticks and not much education in fighting. And then you can have 10,000 army that have got a harder stick, right, and know how to fight. So they can take out 10 to each one, no worries, and still probably take 20. So they can pretty much take them all out now, and you get a couple of hundred out of the couple of thousand, and the other 10,000 strong, 20,000 strong is dead. That's happened in history because of the way we see things and do things. What makes you want to fight stronger? For greed or for love? for yourself and your family. Usually it's that one, isn't it? Right? Then the ones that want to come in for greed, like we've seen in World War II and stuff. The Japanese, they tapped in because they wanted more and it was an opportunity, not because they had to, you see. But anyway, hopefully religion overseas gets their shit together. What do you reckon? And show us all the point, instead of showing us all the point not to be religious, and that religious is all just a test. We keep hearing a test, they force things on you and bully you, and the ones that do the test are the ones that get all the benefit while they're doing it. No wonder they'd want to do it more, true. Hey, no wonder. Because it's a human thing. And I'll pass that down, you go, oh, you have to upgrade to get to me, to get there. That's only selected. It's like 10,000 lawyers coming out, but hey, there's only 1,000 jobs. Alright? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully we see things get better. Or hopefully they'll just get rid of their problem. Maybe there is a real God. Maybe all these religions are wrong. Maybe they do need to war. Maybe that's why it's happening. That's how I see certain things. Maybe God is, and God doesn't change nothing because he goes, it needs to happen. He allows one side to win, as they would say. Whoever wins will go, I got God. That's what history shows of any religion. Once they win a battle, they use that propaganda. Right? We got God. We won the battle. We got the place. They had a God. Where is it now? Right? And then later on in history, their God comes back in revenge. That's history. Wipes them out. Go check out Israel's while they're warring over there at the moment. It's a little bit of their history. And goes, now who's your God now? And then who was right? They were right then, but now you're right? Perhaps you're both wrong. Perhaps God's hoping you'll find the right one when the right one does, because the right one may need to have the same battle. Oh, that could be true. Oh, a battle to win, but then when is it going to be right? And when you are right, and you can be right in different ways, you'll all connect. But if you're not right, you're not going to connect with what needs to be happening and what we are. We're still barbaric and you're trying to go too righteous. Well, what do they say? What happened to Kennedy? Kaboom. You're not going to connect. And people don't want you around. Too many enemy, more likely you're out. Definitely if you go and look, I'm going to pretend I've got no enemies, right? You know you're a person doing a good thing, as far as I'm concerned. If you're going to be a person doing good things, look at what happened to Trump. I don't think it's not going to happen again. Next one they won't miss. Right? You can't go around showing your face when you're going to step up seriously for a lot of enemy out there. You show your face, but you need body armor or shields. That's what I'll be recommending. I ain't taking no risk. I don't want to turn out to try to be like Kennedy and fix things and then die and nothing happens. And look at the guys and go, why the fuck didn't I do these things? Because I try to believe that some God will save me and it never really has. It's always been us. And it's people who didn't die because they were just lucky enough. It's about luck when it comes to that. You see? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Have a good one. And we do have energy out there too. And all these spiritual stories talk about how this energy does get involved. Right? But it's got to do with energy. It's always there. It's always there. Nothing ever disappears and comes. And it's up to us to use it wisely and to figure it out or to get it from the God when we need it every now and then, like Tesla talked about. Well, what happened to him? Anyone that we hear that done it decently didn't get a very good story. I guess we all get to go to heaven quicker. Shit, we all should just do that now and go to heaven, everybody. You know what I mean? But we don't, because we don't know what's really real, because we haven't had a long enough history of peace to figure out real answers together as a collective, because we need ourselves as a collective. Perhaps that's how the energy works. You know the stories in history too, that we've all had these pyramids and things got built at similar times. Like we all get certain downloads, and it depends on how we interpret that download, you see. It's our choice. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Can't blame it all, can't do too much, because that's what keeps you in certain boats. Huh? Because the enemy will always take if it can. You see, if you keep giving it, it will take, and I've talked about that. That's why I'm stopping, minimise down. And what they take, they're losing. They could get more with connection. Instead of going, look what they got now, let's kill them. Take what they got some, right? But if they didn't kill them and hang on, they could have got some more things that might about to come out with something even better than the thing you got now. And now it's going to be 1,000 years before you got another idea, because all you do is go barbaric, take and party and have fun. Huh? And that's ways in a lot of areas. It's the kingdom ways. That's why. And they run the army, you see, the pilots. They create the wars. So the kingdom thinks a certain way, which is what I talk about. The government are like children, kids and carrying on and doing bad things, but they're telling us to be good. Well, we're going to keep being bad because the government's been just as bad as them in another way. Or still being bad, being hypocritical. And I'll leave there. Have a good one and bye-bye, everybody.